Hey, everyone. It's Wednesday night. Um, I had some things I wanted to talk about, but after I thought about it, I've been really busy and I got some more stuff to do later. So I thought I would come in early and hope that there would be people in chat because I wanted to do a question and answer through the chat. Like you guys come up with the topic and we'll talk about it. I feel like that there's a lot of people that have things that questions that they want answered, and I thought what a great time to do that. Get away from all the junk that we're seeing on the news. Any topic is totally wide open. It doesn't matter what it is that you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. Hi, Ruth Ann. How are you? I figure that it'll be slower as people load in because it's so early in the evening. It's 5 here, so I know a lot of the West Coasters, they're probably not even at home yet, so I'll probably miss those. But the Midwest and the East Coasters and the around the world ones, they should be able to log in. At least I think they would be. How's it going, Cryptid? What's up, man? Yeah, so tonight is, hi, Connie. Tonight is you guys bring up the topics or ask the questions and I'll answer them. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about or I had to talk about, but I thought, I'm interested in what it is you guys want to know. And so tonight I want to find out what that is. And so you guys are in control here tonight with questions. And I'll be able to keep up on chat that way. I like interacting with everyone. And this is like ultimate interaction. Hi, Sean. What's up? And Bobby. I have a new thing going on the Patreon account. I have it set up now where I can post things, and for 3 or 4 days, nobody sees it but only the Patreon people. So the Patreon people are really special to me. I mean, everyone is all special to me, but the Patreon people is extra special because they're putting that dollar a month towards me, and I feel like I can't just take everybody's money and not give something, to everyone. So as I get links, like right now, there's a link to an interview I did at Jackson, California at the ParaQuest that is only available. I mean, if you can look it up online and probably find it, but I linked it into the Patreon account. So all my Patreon members, you guys get first crack at listening to it. My way of giving you guys a little something for what I consider a huge thing for me and helping me to stay doing this. And it's a lot of work to do this. I know a lot of people think it's easy, but it really isn't. It takes time and effort, and sometimes for me it's like fighting back pain and all kinds of stuff just to sit here. Today's not that case. Today I'm coming in early because I have a honeydew list still that's pretty long, and I'm actually only going to do one more thing on it for tonight. I just finished one, and then I thought I would come in and talk with you guys for a little while. It says you live on under $8.99 a month, and you will learn you miss a lot. I actually do live on less than $8.99 a month, believe it or not, and I mean, I think I get a little bit more. I get SSDI, which is Social Security disability insurance. That's the one that if you're a working person that you're paying into and that you collect when you become 62 or later. Or if you, like in my case, you become disabled. And I was paying into it, and I had high powered jobs, and I was paying a lot into it. But I became disabled at age 42, so I don't collect the full amount as if you were working all the way until 62. So I make, even though I paid and paid and paid my whole working career, I don't get that much coming back. In fact, I get so less of an amount that the state of California deems it as way under the poverty line, and they say it's a certain amount, 921 or whatever it is. So I get a little bit from SSI in the state of California that brings it up above 900. Not much above 900, but it is a little bit above 900. And it really sucks because the SSI gives me that little teeny bit. They try to make me conform to the rules of all SSI, which I think is not fair, because I'm actually the lion's share. I mean, like 95 or 98% of what I get is from SSDI, and there's a lot of rules in SSI that doesn't apply to SSDI people if you get full SSDI. Jesus, son. I don't feel like Jesus, but I love Jesus. Yeah. So, yeah, that said, so I set up the Patreon, and anybody could become a member. You don't even have to donate any money at all. You could just sign up and be a Patreon. And if you do donate, all I'm asking for is $1 a month. So I don't want to break anybody's bank. I'm looking at it as the Walmart theory. If, not so much try to make a killing off of every single person, but hopefully a lot of people will add up to an income where I can do things like fix my car and keep my studio running, keep my internet on, stuff like that I struggle with every single month. But only I don't complain about it at all because I love coming on here. I would find a way, no matter what, to come in and chat with all my friends because you guys are my friends, really, truly, my real friends. In fact, in the Patreon, I'm working on a special way where I can get in there maybe a couple of times a month, and just for the Patreon members, have a open chat, kind of like a fireside chat, but it'll be over the video, something like that, where we just hang out and chat and talk about things and just hang out, talk, pray for each other, do things like that. And so I hope to see everyone go over to Patreon, whether you donate or not, it doesn't matter. Go take advantage of the free, I guess, premiere access. So I'll do things, videos, interviews, special interviews, stuff like that. And it won't hit for 3 or 4 days. So anyone that's a Patreon member will get early access to those things and get to watch it several days before it actually goes public on Patreon. And I thought that's my way of making you guys, having something special for you guys. And I hope it works. Yeah, I have been to Fresno Flats. In fact, the first time I ever went to Fresno Flats, I was working for Richard Kiel, and we were shooting. I had my camera, and what we were doing is going around. He was making the movie Giant of Thunder Mountain, and it didn't become a big successful movie, but it did all right. but it was when they were looking for shooting locations, and one of the ideas was Fresno Flats and several other places. And my first time ever being there was going over and actually shooting the little town with videos for Richard Keel. And it's a neat little place, like a museum kind of thing. Yeah, the Patreon. What happened is YouTube. Like I used to do really well on YouTube, and I didn't have to ask anybody for anything. Just the actual ads would bring me in 300 or 400 a month, and but then they changed it, and now it's like $12 a month, and they don't pay you until you add up to $100. So uh, I rarely get paid from YouTube anymore, and it's really, really rough when for so long, almost a year, you're count. You don't really count on it. You don't know what the amount's going to be, but you know that that's going to come in and help you out. And without it, it's really hard. Like before, things, if anything came up that took money, uh, YouTube would like cover it. But now, like my power steering unit on my car is going out, and it looks like I'm going to have to do the work because I can't afford a mechanic. But that's going to take money away out of my budget. And one of the very first things that I'll cut if I have to cut anything off is the internet, and because that's not something you have to live. And so I'm gonna try to do it where that doesn't happen, but only I'm banking on it won't happen. I trust God has me, and so far He's taking care of all my needs, and that is a need. So I'm counting on Him. Yeah, a lot of the people are going over with Patreon. Well, thank you, El Shepherd. I love you, man. And I hope it's a man or a bro. I think it is. But if not, I love you. Anyways. Yeah, so a lot of the people are going to Patreon because of the same reason, but a lot of them have higher amounts. Maybe they have more viewers. I don't know. But I don't want to on, you know, dig in people's wallets and always constantly be begging for money. Some of them, I know they don't need it, and it seems like they have like a bazillion. In fact, YouTube does that to me. When I look back at the videos, it has all these little yellow ad places. I'm going to go in and cut those back. I know that if I leave them, I'll make a little bit more on YouTube, but I think it's annoying, and I don't want you guys to have to sit through, a little bit of video and then add, a little bit of video and add, a little bit of video and add. I rather you guys watch more video and every once in a while an ad, not every 4 minutes or whatever they have it set at. I think it's ridiculous. I just noticed on my last video, it's like that. For the first hour, it's like tons of ads that YouTube put in. I don't know who's more greedier, YouTube or the ad people. It's just really something. Hi Pam, hi Mary and Jesus. Cool, man. I thought I was coming on kind of early. I have a couple of things I got to do, and I thought it was gonna be do those things and then fall in bed and not. And I wanted to come on, be with you, come in with you guys on YouTube tonight. And it was like, you know what, the list is gonna wait, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'll go do the list, then I'll fall in bed and fall out. We do need to do a Skywatch night. It's actually perfect weather lately, except for the fires. but it's not like so hot or any. It's actually pretty nice. You know, you can bundle up and have a good time. Hey, Adolf, what's up, my man? Love you, brother. Yeah, so, okay, so I told everybody about Patreon. Just for those that are all coming in right now, I'll do a quickie on it. I created the Patreon, and now I have a new kind of little thing set up that I'm going to be doing special videos and special chats in Patreon, and only the Patreon people will be able to get in on it. And it'll be private to Patreon members only for like 3 or 4 or 5 days, something like that. And then it'll go public, and then everybody will be able to watch it. But the Patreon people will be able to get it sooner and have access to it before anyone else. And I'll still have a whole lot of stuff coming out on YouTube that isn't under that, but anything that I put in Patreon that I don't do in YouTube will have that in it. So I'm hoping it encourages people to go and help out in the Patreon thing. And if not, that's fine. You could even sign up and not donate or anything. Just be in my Patreon friends, you know. I don't trust YouTube at all. Okay, that's my main thing. Hey, Rob. Right on. It was pretty fun. I love doing BZ's show. I've known BZ for so long. Howdy Island Time Paranormal. I love Island Time Paranormal. That's so cool. Yeah, so tonight what the idea is I'm gonna take I had some things could talk about. I have a whole list of things. As I think of things, I write them down and keep them. And tonight I thought about busting out my list and checking out, you know, what I wanted to cover tonight. But I thought, man, there's been like terrible bad news in the news. Let's get away from all that. Let's find out what you guys want to know. Like, I know that you guys all out here have questions for me, probably millions of questions. So I thought I would just take questions from everyone, and we'll see how that goes. Because I basically just want to hang out with everybody and not be staring at the camera talking so much as actually hanging out with you guys. So, no, the fires are actually a few hours away, but they're on both sides of me. And one of the bad things is where I live, it's like a bowl. So on one side of the bowl, there's a bunch of fires north of me, like the Paradise and the Bay Area ones, and then on the south of me, you got L.A. and you know all those fires, and the smoke is like going down into the bowl and it's smoking us out. So the air quality is really bad here. Yeah, but no fires, thank God, no fires over where I'm at. But it doesn't mean that they couldn't start. But I'm hoping and praying that that doesn't happen. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, I did see that. Actually, I don't normally name YouTube channels, but everybody tells me he's fake. Secure Team. I don't think he's fake. I think that he actually looks for real news stories or things that he thinks are real and puts up these, you know, goes deep diving into them. And he did 2 videos so far on the Irish one. And man, is that interesting or what? How would you like to be the pilot of the plane that thing zipped up on and you know then was sitting right outside your plane And we're talking like a 757, and the thing is like 15 times bigger than what you're flying. And you're pretty much flying the biggest thing in the air known to man, and then this thing pulls up and then jets away at a high speed and disappears right in front of your eyes. I mean, that would be amazing. I would love to be in that plane videotaping with my phone or something out the window. I think that's so cool. Cool, El Shepherd, you're actually a lady. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll not forget, though. Okay? I'll remember that forever now. L for lady. I hope you could forgive me. Yeah, that is a trip, huh, Adolf, that these ships are that big. What about the ships up on by the sun that they're getting? They're getting ships that recently in the last couple of months there's these big huge ships coming in and out of the sun that are as big as Jupiter. Now that's a ship, man. That's you could put like 10 Earths inside of these ships. That's how big they are. Can you imagine? Man, wow. I think a lot of the big ones, I think those are, I hate to say extraterrestrial because I don't believe I'm really I used to believe I know there's other life forms out there, but only I'm to the point now where I don't know if there's really aliens, other life forms from other planets visiting us. I think there's dimensional beings visiting us, and the history of them go back. I mean, you can read about them, the Anunnaki, stuff like that. I think it's all a angelic realm type thing, and I think they've been here for a long time. I think some of them were put here, stuck here, and then I think that's why we're having so many troubles too. In fact, I believe that as if you keep watching the news, anyways, as President Trump goes through and starts putting these people into courts, arresting them and stuff like that, we're going to start seeing just how demonic our world leaders are. And I don't mean just America, I mean world leaders. We're going to start seeing how demonic everything is. Yes, indeed, Mary. Thank you for your forgiveness, Lady Shepherd, Madame. I've listened to Steve Quayle. Right now, he's talking about. I usually listen to him and put the earbuds in and go to bed and fall asleep listening to him. Right now, he's talking about the return of the giants, which would be that would be the angelic thing again, and I believe that is coming. All that's coming. I love you too. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I had a friend or have a friend that is in a position to know about uh, the government and what they know about giants. And one of the things that why they're interested in all the giants in Afghanistan and actually even the bones of, and that's why all the bones disappear and everything. That there's things that these giants they have capabilities, and they actually it's in nursery rhymes. Fee fi fo fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, right? So what I understand is these giants can sniff out people's DNA. So they could give them a taste of, say, my DNA, and these guys can come sniff you out without ever seeing you and take you out. And I don't know if they want them to be giant size or if they want them to be human size, and they would be uh, the best, guys at going and tracking people down and taking them out. Assassination type stuff. Hi, BZ. What's up, my buddy? George Lucas got a lot of his ideas. Man, Star Wars. Star Wars is. This is something I would love for you guys to check out. Like, listen to Donald Marshall, okay? Read up on what Donald Marshall says about cloning and the arenas and all this stuff. And look at Star Wars. Look at the lizards they have, like the reptilian style people. What he describes and what he talks about is exactly identical to what they have in Star Wars. The cloning in Star Wars is identical to what he talks about. The arenas where they pit everyone together, kind of like Roman days, that is identical to what he talks about. There's a lot of truth in these movies that they're releasing. They're telling us things in the movies. And I think that's all going to come out. Copper bullets, huh? But what about the Lone Ranger? He had to have silver bullets. I'm positive what you're saying, Adolf, about the aliens tracking people by DNA. I believe you're right. I believe you're right. And that's how they could follow generations of families, or why they do. There's something in that family's DNA that they either changed and want to follow it and see how the changes go and continue tweaking it, or there's something in that DNA that they want for, to create little alien bodies, little robot things. But I do know that aliens, when they start abducting people, it isn't usually that you can go back and you start, if there's people alive in your family, you can go back and you'll start, if you ask questions of your elders and stuff like that, you'll find that there was alien contact and UFO sightings, for your family going way back. And sometimes it'll skip a generation, but it'll be in a family line, like your children and all that. Hey, Jean Paul, how are you? It was my pleasure to be on the show, BZ. Always a pleasure. One day we'll have to be, like you put in the message, we'll have to go in and be in studio over there one day. I would love that so much. In fact, I'm actually working on that. Like I told you when I was up in Jackson, we have a grandchild in Sacramento that we don't see very often. And my wife is excited about the opportunity to go see him. And his birthday's in December. So we're planning on doing something. And it may be for one day, where we ride the train up, rent a car, and then I'll have to spend a little bit of time with the grandson. But then later, I can slide into the studio and the wife can stay with the grandkid and go, unless the grandkid wants to come over to the studio and watch, I don't know. We'll see. But we're working on it. Yeah, see, and and only Adolf would know this, and maybe a few others in here. But when there's alien abductions, it doesn't mean you remember it. You might see the UFOs and stuff like that, but you'll a lot of times people don't remember ever having an alien abduction. They just remember seeing UFOs and lights. Right on, BZ. For sure. I already asked the the mommy of the grandchild if he liked trains. We're gonna find out. I love them, and I know I would have a great time over there, hanging out with them, climbing all over them. Yeah, I think we'll pass on that one. The homeless people out taking sponge baths in the street, in the gutter. Yeah, the missing time. That's how you know. Actually, you're right, Adolf. Are you talking, Pam? Are you talking about the RH negative blood? Somebody wants to pay you. Do you have that kind of blood, or do you know how to get the blood? Wow, wow, that's amazing. So you have RH negative blood. I hear that aliens are really, that's one of the main bloods they like. Like they like to go after people that have that kind of blood, that family line, and it may be alien blood too. That's what I hear. Wow. You're like me, Mary. I don't even know what date it is half the time. It's always Friday. Yeah, you're correct. The government follows everybody with RH. They keep special files on them. Wow, mine's a B positive, but I have lots of. I mean, I've been interacting with Bigfoot for a while now, and I have really good luck. Like going Bigfooting with me, uh, you have good luck at having run-ins with Bigfoot when you're with me. And I don't know why that is. It just is, I have luck when it comes to that. I don't know if it's luck or a curse, but we get lucky a lot. Wow, that's cool, Pam. Yeah, I have Bigfoot karma, BZ. You're right. Yeah, I think I always did have that, but after I had my little scare, my near death thing, it a lot of things have become more intense. I have more, I don't know, I don't know what you call it. Just things happen more often in the supernatural side of things than before. Even though I did have it before, it's way more uh, prevalent in my life now since I died and came back. It probably is, Jean Paul. I have quite a bit in me, at least quarter, and my whole family is like that. I mean, I don't talk about my family very much, but my whole family are empaths, and some are white witches. I mean, some are into the Bible, and they're real healers and stuff like that, where they have faith and they can pray for healings and stuff like that. I'm one of those also. I think I have healing ability where it isn't me that has the power, but Jesus has the power, and I have the faith to activate that. And so it's interesting. Hey, Knight Rider, how are you? Richard, what's up, man? I've been praying for you guys over there, you and your wife. Thank you, Richard Barfield. And I'm still going to keep you in my prayers too, brother. Wow, that's interesting, Pam. Yeah, they say your hair has a lot to do with it too. Like this is your antenna. Doo, doo, doo. Cut your hair, and then you don't have, you lose your powers like Hercules sneeze. Yeah, I don't care who gets my blood anymore. I mean, if they need it and I'm available, they can have it, but it comes with lots of drugs. And I don't mean illegal ones, pharmaceuticals. I mean, I take like 14 different kinds of medications, all, mostly heart and blood related, though. Blood pressure and thinners, and then you got your stomach one because some of them mess up your stomach, and then I have pain meds and all kinds of weird concoctions. I have problems with kidney stones. The RSD that I have went into my kidneys, and my kidneys became little stone makers. And man, that is no fun at all. I'll tell you right now. I even passed a couple of years ago. I passed an 8 millimeter stone, and it was big and it hurt, but I passed it and I didn't have to have help. And boy, that one. Wow. So like every couple of months, I'll pass 3 or 4 stones, even though I'm taking medications that changes the pH in my body, so I don't. It's not supposed to make stones, still does, but not as bad. They don't get as big now. That and drinking lemonade and stuff like that. That would be kind of fun. That sounds like fun, BZ. You ever do that? Let me know. I'll go with you. That would be. We'll do a triangle. Yee. Yeah, it feels like a rain. I know that I passed it, and then they give you this little filter that you urinate through to catch them, and I caught that one and took it to the doctor, and he took it, and they were trying to figure out what they were made of, and so that they could figure out how to stop them. And he came back with that one. Normally they just keep them or throw them away or something. I don't know. But he came back and gave me that one. Said put it in a special place. He said that one's the closest you ever came to having a baby. And I think that it felt like that too. Believe it or not. It had me dancing for 3 days. Man, I was surprised. I didn't know though about the sizes. The doctor's the one that told me that. I think he said 4 millimeters. Anything bigger than 4 millimeters, they usually have to go get or smash. Use like ultrasonic waves and smash them. And he was surprised that I was able to pass that one. Yeah. So far, I've never had to be had that ultrasonic smash thing. On the I never had to have that done. So I've passed all of them so far. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 stones. Yeah, Mary, that's for sure right there. That's usually where it gets hung up too, because the tube that goes from your kidneys all the way out, it isn't very big. So everything backs up, and if it gets stuck too, you actually start getting an infection in your kidney. So I try to drink lots of water and lemonade and keep the fluids going, and then moving around helps. Like laying down doesn't help very much. uh, Moving around makes everything move and makes muscles flex and stuff like that, and it'll work itself out. You know, you're right, BZ. That's what the doctors first off started telling me. It was because I didn't drink enough water, and then they give you this can to measure. And they say don't change anything, just do your day. And I guess for 3 days or 24 hours, you fill this can up and then they measure it. Well, I was fine. I keep myself well hydrated. In fact, I don't drink Pepsi. The only thing I drink is water and coffee, and only maybe a cup or two of coffee, and that's it. Wow, that's interesting, Adolf. I didn't know that the Rh negative people have uh, reddish hair and blue green eyes. That would go with the giants. All the giants had red hair, long red hair. Wow. 5'1's a good height. Wow, that's interesting. You guys are bringing up interesting stuff. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, they're making it where they're making it where they're like shadow banning me on YouTube. Not everybody gets a message saying I'm on. I get lots of emails saying, "Hey, we watched it later, but we were home and everything was on, and we didn't get the message." I hope I'm not too early for everyone. And then I need to check my. I still haven't checked my Facebook messages. Guys, don't shoot me, okay? I can barely keep up with my emails and all the other stuff. But I'll do what I can. Maybe in a day or so, I'll get to the messages, the Facebook messages. Hi, James. What's up, brother? Yeah, I came on early, Amanda. I have a honeydew list, and I got one big. There's actually several things on the list that I'll be working on tomorrow as well, and I did most of them for today. But there was one big one, and I thought, man, if I do that right now, and I wanted to come on, and this is what's been keeping me off is I'll try to get through that list and then save enough time where I can come on around 7 or 8 p.m. And usually by the time I get done doing that list, I lay down for a minute and then that's it, I'm done. And I never make it back in here. And so today it was like, I'm going to do this first and then I'll do that big heavy hitter honeydew list thing and then I'll fall out. But I'll this way, I mean, I might have to do it more often than not too, just until I get this list down. There's so many things on it right now that my wife's wanting to fix everything up, and I can't not do it for her. So there's a whole bunch more people in here. I wanted to let everybody know about the Patreon thing. Um, I started up the Patreon thing and I really didn't even know what I was doing with it or anything. I know that it was important and they came up with some new stuff for Patreon. And now I figured out what I'm going to do with it is when I create videos, like when I go out riding with Adolf or Varen von Strauss or even on my own, or I do interviews with other shows and stuff like that, I'll put the link in the Patreon, but it won't become public for like 3 or 4 or 5 days. So only the Patreon people will be able to have access to to these things, and that's my way of making it better, like for my really, those are my supporters right there. They support me. And I want to do a little more right there, even though I love everybody the same. And I love everybody on YouTube too. I feel like that I should do a little more for the people that are doing a little more for me. So I'm going to do a little more for them. And I appreciate it so much. And I feel like I'm not even doing enough anyways. So now if you're a Patreon member, you'll anything I put out that's extra or not a live YouTube like this will be released in Patreon, and then it won't, and all the Patreon members will be able to see it and all that before the public for about 5 days, I think it is. So that I wanted to let everybody know that that's what I'm doing, because I know a lot of people don't see what I'm doing on Patreon, and I've been working on it little bit by little bit and trying to figure it out. It's like everything has to be figured out, every little thing. I agree, L Shepherd, Lady Shepherd. I agree. I agree. And it is work to me, really hard work. If I wasn't so hurt or like having physical problems and stuff like that, it would be a lot easier. And if I had more of an income, it would be a lot easier. So I'm like behind the 8 ball on everything, but I enjoy it so much. I'm not going to stop. That's just me. I got to keep going. And I love you guys. I love hanging out and like reading the chat and hanging with everybody. That's one of the things I want to do in the Patreon is have a hangout night where we all get to hang out, all the Patreon members, and anything goes hangout type thing. So I'm working on that and figure out how to do that. No, I don't have any favorites. Not unless they're my grandkids. They take the cake over everything. Is it Heart 22? Hi, Heart. I can't tell if there's a T there or not. I just see here T. Yeah, there's Heart 22. What's up? How's it going, Heart? Does Heart 22 mean you work in the heart hospital? I never did think that the RH blood was from the monkeys. Never. The little PK little they call Bat Kid because he dresses as Batman is cancer free. Yes, that's cool. That's a good idea, Rob, and I am working on that. Believe it or not, it's going to be an edited thing, though, not a live. I'm actually working on some worm things because I think it's important. As all these fires and everything ravage California, and we start finding out how badly they sprayed and killed off the dirt and the worms and stuff like that, this is going to be a very important thing to refix everything. Plus, it's a moneymaker, a real serious moneymaker, and that's what I'm going to show. And I probably will never ever make those public. I think those are only going to be Patreon only videos. That way, you guys will be tapping into my 30-year knowledge of worms and how to monetize it and make serious money. I mean, at one point before I got hurt, I had made as high as 13,000 in 1 month. The average is around 11,000 a month selling worm poo. Can you imagine that? I hate monkeys. Sorry about that, but I hate monkeys. Yeah, that's how come the fires are so bad, Mary. They've been spraying this crap on us, and it's like first it killed the trees. Okay, what they've been spraying killed the trees, and from I have some arborist friends, and from what I understand, it's even killed trees here. Down in the valley where I live. The aluminum oxide it gets into the soil, and as the roots draw the water up, the aluminum oxide coats the root, and pretty soon the root can't get any water because it's full of barium and aluminum oxide and some other stuff, and it clogs up the root, and then the tree dies. Actually, it dies of thirst. And then because the tree is stressed and dying, that's when the bark beetle can set in. And it isn't bark beetle on the fire, it is killing people. And this is unprecedented. We in California have had fires as far back as I could remember, but never has the fires been this hot, this destructive, and they could. I mean, I know that they've been mismanaging the forest too, and there's a lot more duff on the ground, but those dead trees and all this aluminum oxide over everything is really making it murderous. You know what I mean? Like it is deadly, deadly, more deadly than it's ever been. I was wondering about that. I actually think that I actually think the dogmen and the Bigfoots live underground in caverns, and they're big enough. Like we might never see the entrance to the cavern because they can put a boulder in front of it, and I mean they can move the boulder and put it back. So they go underground and they escape all that, and they maybe have several entrances and they can go in and out. Where there isn't a fire. But I don't think very many of them get caught in fires. But maybe like when a volcano goes off, they might be afraid to be in the ground because of all the earthquakes. So when a volcano goes off, they all get caught. I know that only because of Mount St. Helens. Yeah. Yeah, they misspend our money, Mary. All that money that's sent to fix the forest and stuff like that, it went to this train. Somebody even put up a map the other day that said, "Look at the map of the train, the proposed train, high-speed rail train, and then look at the map of the fire." And you'll find that it matches. So maybe they weren't able to buy out the property or use eminent domain, so they decided to use dew weapons and start fires, burn everyone of the area where they want that train. It's an interesting thing to entertain. Yeah, I bet the now some of my friends that live down like L.A. Marzulli lost his house. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. I've had some friends and family lose homes in Paradise. I have some great uncles and stuff like that. They lost everything, but everybody's telling me that the animals are getting away. They're actually, very rare are the animals getting caught. Only the domestic ones that don't want to leave, but the wild ones are like getting out of there. And not very many of them get caught. They smell smoke and they're gone. They head out. Oh man, I can imagine, BZ. I bet the smoke over there, you're closer to it. It's pretty smoky here too, though, way down here from both fires on both sides. Global warming. Ooh, I like that. I thought about calling it the good shit. The good shit corporation. We only put out the good shit in the big bags. Hey, Cold Warrior, I didn't see you sneak in there. How are you, buddy? Love you, brother. Hokey Smoky Bullwinkle. Yeah. Man, I have like a zit on my ear back here. I had this bad pair of sunglasses or reading glasses and they kept slipping and it made like a zit. So I can't put on the headphones. So I can't tell if you're hearing me or not, or if I'm loud enough or anything. I hope I'm loud enough for everybody. I'm trying to be. My little thing is saying I'm, hitting the edge of the green, so hopefully that's good. Oh, wow, that was a good thing. Hi, Alex, how are you? Another one I didn't see come in. I'm missing a bunch of the chat. That is a good idea, huh? Nobody will be getting his horses because it has his phone number on them. That's actually pretty good. man, it to me it angers me that there's people dying in these, especially the ones dying in the cars. Now, a car doesn't catch on fire that easy. It has to get pretty damn hot before a fire will uh, combust. So if you're in that car, you're going to feel the heat way before that fire ignites the car. You would think you would have enough time to get out. So that means something is up, right? When people start burning in cars, there's something up about that. Like it's unnatural, it's paranormal, it's not normal. You know what I mean? These guys should be able to have plenty of time to get out of the car and run away, but they're not. And man, I find that highly suspect right there. Yeah, 100 missing, man. Hi, Connie. Am I up for a tongue twister? How's it going, BBRC? How are you? I'm not sure, man. All I know is anybody that's in a car should be able to get away. There should be no reason for anybody to die in a car. And so far, quite a few have died in cars, and it doesn't make sense. I know they move fast, but it doesn't move faster than a car. At least it's not supposed to. Yeah, the wind is even suspect to me. I mean, all of a sudden now they're having wind like crazy. It's almost too convenient. The fires start and the wind kicks up. And I know every year, this time of the year, they have the Santa Ana winds, where what that means is in California is there's deserts uh, east of Southern California. So the air is coming out of Arizona and through the Nevada and stuff like that. And when it blows towards the ocean, it's heated air. And when it comes from the ocean blowing east, then it's coming from the ocean. It's cooler and more humid air. But at certain times of the year, the winds come, and they call it mono winds. And to me, it's too convenient. Like there was no winds, and then they start a fire, and then all of a sudden there's winds, lots of high winds, and it seems like right around the fires too. It's not like all over the whole place like it normally would be. So I find that highly unusual. Yeah, that is so sad about people dying in the cars. Yeah, I remember. It's just been in the last couple of years the fires have been like this, though. When I was a kid, we owned a charter bus company. My family owned a charter bus company. And every year, I mean, we have fires in California every year. And every year, the Cal Fire and the forestry department, they would charter our buses, and we would take firefighters to wherever the fire was. And then we would leave the bus there and the drivers so that they can move them around. And they have these paper sleeping bags. That's what they sleep in, paper sleeping bags. And we would open up the luggage bins underneath the bus, and everybody could sleep underneath in the bus, underneath in the luggage compartments, instead of sleeping out on the ground. And but only you never heard of. I mean, these guys would say sometimes you can't outrun a fire when the wind was just right. It would be really hard to outrun a fire, but these fires, you can't even outdrive the fire. I mean, these are bad fires. These are unusual fires. This is angry fires. Angry. And I think it's all about what they sprayed on us, that man made drought thing that they've been doing. And it's perfect for fires. Good night, Adolf. It's good seeing you, bro. Man, that really sucks, Pam. Caught in the fires and they couldn't get out. Wow. That's really a trip. Yeah, everybody have prayers for Adolf. He's separated, his family's in the islands and he's way over here. Let's pray they soon bring his wife and daughter and let them be there. That would be so cool. I can't wait to meet his daughter and his wife, but I love kids and not in that weird way either. I just like kids and I like to play with them. And I can't wait. His daughter is, just from what I can tell and what I've seen so far, she's a little smarty pants. And it's going to be interesting to see her personality and everything and how smart she is. You know, I love smart kids. They always have the best questions. They're interesting. You can hold conversations with them, even when they're like 3 years old. It's kind of fun. I have quite a few grandkids that are like that. Yeah, enjoy the loved ones while you can. You never know when your time is up. So tomorrow could be your last day on earth. So make sure you hug everyone. Um, if you have a bucket list, start working on that bucket list because you never know. You absolutely don't know when your time has come. So enjoy life. If you hate what you're doing, quit doing it and get into something you like because time is short. It's better to do the things you love doing and maybe make less money, or a lot of times if you're doing your passion, you'll make more money because you're better at it than everyone else. And just remember that, like, if you're doing your passion, it's not work. And you're probably better than everyone else because you have a gift that you were born with that made you better than everyone else. I actually got lucky and stumbled onto that. And that's how I went up in the casino world so fast is that was my passion. I had no idea. Kind of stumbled into it, but I loved it so much. I mean, I didn't. I would be 14 hours into the day and not realize it was that much time had gone by, and everybody's like, "Hey, you need to go home," you know. Even though when I got home, I'd be home, fall asleep, then they'd call me almost every night. It would make me so mad. So after years of that, I actually don't like cell phones because of it. This is right when the cell phone came out. First, it was a pager, and it was easy to dodge a pager. You know what I mean? Like, there's no phones. When you live in the mountains, there's no phones. So, but when the cell phone came out, man, they had me, and I had to answer it. And that meant I had to go in and spend 2 or 3 hours of when I would be sleeping normally, and then go home and get a couple hours sleep and then come back. And man, they about killed me like that. It's hard to run on no sleep, but they think you can. Yeah, so has anybody got any questions about for of any topic, any topic? I'm open for anything tonight. You know, anything that you've been dying to ask me and you haven't asked. That's what I'm open for it all. Man, skeletons in the cars. Wow. Yep, HARP weather control. Yes, I believe they're using it here too. I'm not sure about the pictures of the dew weapons. I mean, people put them on there, but I could do that in a video editor. So I'm not sure if they're real pictures. My favorite color is blue. And I love long walks on the beach. I just can't walk that far on the beach. So I like to sit and watch people walk on the beach. And I love the sunsets on the beach. And yes, I still go squatching as much as possible. In fact, I'm planning now that the power steering pump went out on my van. So first things first, I got to fix it, and then I'm planning on some squatch trips. Unless there's some local people around here where I live that want to go out some nights and hang out around the Kings River and the San Joaquin River, because that was where I wanted to go. I haven't talked to Jeff in a long time. I'm not sure if I would work with him again at all. Uh, I'm enjoying myself without Jeff, believe it or not, and I'm kind of burned out on him. He's like a broken record. Everything revolves around Jeff, and after a while, it's kind of like no fun. I don't drink. And I can't handle. I can handle a foot rub on my left foot, but my right foot, don't touch it. It hurts. It'll hurt for hours after just a slight brush on it, and I could. It feels like that is on fire for hours after on the bad leg. Hey MK, how are you, man? Yeah, he's always about to go big. And I did hear, though, that his new girl that he had, I guess she's not new, but the one that took my place, she had some kind of problem. And so he had to change out. So he has a new girl, another new girl. I don't think anyone's seen her yet, but I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. I got a thing I got to do tonight, so I can't stay on too long, but I'll hang out for a little while more. I got a major honeydew list. It's like the anchor of the list for the day, and it's a biggie. And it means doing some kind of physical activity. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Yeah, Jeff likes. Yeah, you're right, BZ. He does. You want to go bigfooting, Jesus? I have some places I really want to check out and hang out. Yep, third new girl. Can you believe that? Yeah. I guess my tits weren't big enough, huh? Cool. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of me on my for any of those that live in my area that want to go squatching or sky watching. Alan 59 Thomas at gmail.com. Yes, he does. In fact, well, I better shut up because I could really go off on that one, Pam. Sometimes it's so annoying. I'll tell you that. Neon the Unknown quit on him because he had, you won't believe this, but he had his car broke down. The engine blew up. His girlfriend dumped him. That is actually his fiance, I guess. And he called Jeff and said he couldn't make it on the Sunday night. It all happened right before that he was supposed to be do the show for us. And Jeff told him, man up. And there's no excuses. If you don't show up, you're done. And he quit right there. He wasn't going to show up. So that was the end of him. He's now living in LA and his career is skyrocketing. He's working through the schools and stuff like that. He's like a concert pianist. I mean, he's a cool guy. But that I thought that was totally uncool of that person to tell him the suck it up buttercup and get yourself in here or never show up. I mean, like, really? It's that important? I mean, come on. I would have shut the whole show down and went and picked him up and gave him a ride or something. I mean, not gave him a bad time. He is. He's married. Yeah, man. I'd love to get back there where you're at. I want to go squatching back there. I have some family in North Carolina. Maybe I could go stay with them and go squatching with you. It's my wife's sister. She would love to hang out with her, and I'll go hang out with you. Go work on your trailer, man. I love your trailer. Love it. Okay. Yeah, I think Cryptid 559 has my actual cell phone number. Now that I don't have Facebook Messenger on my phone, so the best way to get a hold of me is by text on that number. Hey, how's it going, Flash? How you doing? Freezing North Carolina, really? Oh my gosh. Yes. And here too, Jean Paul, and here. That's the most amazing thing. There's dogman sightings where there never I mean, like, sparsely over the decade or really like century, maybe one or two, right? And now just in the last 6 months, three over here. In the last year, maybe a dozen. I mean, it's getting weird in the paranormal world as if it wasn't weird enough. It's really getting weird. Cool. Yeah, you'll have to do a video showing some of the fix-ups after you get it all done. It's a beautiful trailer. It has good bones, it looked like. I love Shasta trailers. Man, sleet. I mean, I think it was like 65 or 68 here today. It's beautiful here. We need the rain though before California turns into a big old ash pile. Oh, cool. I want to go on your night investigation in Sanger, Jesus. Yeah, I think that's why me and Cryptid haven't hooked up. It was always like not enough time, lead time. Like I have to have a little bit of lead time in order to plan and make sure everybody over here is okay, and then I can take off. But I can't like drop and run type thing. Not as easy as I used to do. So like any kind of lead time, and I can pretty much make things. It's pretty bad, BZ. They're closing schools and stuff like that, and telling people not to go outside. Uh, I mean, and then the sunset's beautiful because of it, but yeah, it's pretty bad. But we get the smoke from the south fires also. So we get the north smoke and the south smoke, and it pools down in this little bowl we live in. It's pretty nasty. You know, it was like overcast today, but they said it wasn't overcast. It was actually smoke. There's quite a few stories of Sasquatch killing people around here. For reals, Heart. And I mean, over the centuries, not in the last. Usually, the stories of Bigfoot killing people. Usually, there's not very many of them because not many people come back to tell about it, and there's no witnesses. But there is some, where a person has made it out and was able to talk about it. Usually they're older sightings, though. Oh man, so sorry about only getting one weekend a month. I hope you're enjoying what you're doing, though. That's the key to success, is enjoying what you do. Make it your passion. You'll never work a day in your life. Alex, do you think Sasquatch is extra dimensional or an alien? I'm beginning to think that they're extra dimensional for sure. And as far as alien, I do know that around here, anyways, and I'm not sure about the other states, but when people report a Bigfoot like in the mountains, usually I'll get a UFO report or two also. And the people don't know each other, but it's weird to me that I'll have somebody saying they saw a Bigfoot, and then I'll have several people say they saw a UFO, same area, same time, and all that. So I'm starting to think there is some kind of connection there. I just don't know what it is yet. How's it going, Lewis? There's nothing in the media about Squatch being suspected. Hmm. Yeah, well, they'll always call it something else. I think our government is hiding them because I know they know about them. I know for a fact they do. I mean, that's one good thing about growing up and your family is law enforcement. You get to hear things like from the 70s when they weren't so tight on things, but people like uh, 4 years ago, a sheriff actually was doing a call way up in the mountains because the county line goes way in the mountains, and he ran into a Bigfoot, and they had to tow it was one of those SUV, four-wheel drive patrol cars, or vehicles I should say, and it really tore it up. But he said he hit it. It flew a little bit, like he was moving. He said he was doing about 60 miles an hour, and he hit it. It smashed the whole front end up, and the thing tumbled, flew a little bit, tumbled, got up, looked at him like you MF or and then kind of limped off into the woods. I don't know if it lived past that, but he thought it was fine. Like it just was hurting a little bit, like gonna walk it off type thing. And I've heard of 2 sheriffs running into him now so far in the last probably 5 years. Oh, you guys got that fire over there too. I heard about that in North Carolina. Yeah, that's some good stuff, BZ. A lot of people say he's faking it, but that's real. Todd Standing's showing the real thing. I really believe he is. He might have staged some of it, but most of what he shows is real. I mean, he couldn't, he's taking people out there, and letting them make up their own mind. There's no way that he could uh, pull off that by himself or even with people, because they're what the people are encountering when they're with him is more than what a human or even a group of humans can do. I don't know what they think about the smoke, but I know that it's not something they're strangers to. There's part of forest management is fires. So maybe at one time, maybe they set fires to things to the forest when helping manage the forest. I mean, they could have set fires to it. I don't put it past them. I don't think they're afraid of fires. I think they know what to do. I think they get underground. Um, I don't think that fire kills very many Bigfoots. I think they're smarter than that. Sasquatch Chronicles 500th show. Wow. I would love to talk to that guy. I think a lot of people give Les Stroud a lot of grief over things, but I think he doesn't in public tell as much as what he's had happen to him, really. You can't go out there in the woods, and then maybe you could. I mean, I had this conversation a few days ago with someone about I grew up there, and I didn't see a Bigfoot until I was 27. I think I was talking to MK Ultra on his interview. I didn't see a Bigfoot until I was 27, and I spent every moment in the woods that I could. I mean, like, I spent my like relaxing time, vacation time, weekends. I the mountains. I love the mountains. Well, I never seen anything. I had weird things happen to me that I couldn't explain that I now believe are Sasquatch related. But that's that since I seen it, it changed everything. Like I'm not comfortable in the woods like I used to be at all. I'm more, got my radar on all the time. I'm watching and looking, and I mean, I can't relax. Before I used to relax. I used to go up there for 2 weeks every year by myself. Usually twice. I would go 2 weeks before deer season and spend 2 weeks up there. looking for the deer, see where they are, and then when deer season opened, then I would be right where the deer were, and usually right where the Bigfoot was too, because we were both in the same area for the same reason. I found, we're both hunting deer. Yeah, I have lost time. One time when I was with Jeff, we lost some time. We were we were investigating a Bigfoot report, and we drove to the place where the Bigfoot report was, which is at our spot, what we call the spot. And as we checked that out, it was then we drove the, oh man, 500 feet, I think, over to the gate. The gate was open, and we turned down in there to go down into our area. And right when we turned down to turn towards in there, the door locks on the truck started going cha-chung, 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 cha-chung. And Jeff looked at me and said, "Who's doing that, playing with the locks?" And I was riding in the back seat. And it wasn't me hitting the door locks, and none of them were hitting the door locks. Right after that incident, we were waking up about 2 miles away, and the truck was going in down the road into a cow trail. And I woke up first, or came to first, and yelled at Jeff like, "Where are you going?" Like, you passed the turn. And then he came to and slammed on the brakes. And then the other guy that was with us, he actually was still knotted out in the seat. It looks like I'm dropping frames. I'm not going to do anything about it. But yeah, it doesn't really feel like anything. I mean, it was kind of weird because I thought I was awake the whole time, or conscious. But after we thought about it, I wasn't. I was out of it, I guess, and came to like 2 miles down the road. And then Jeff tried to get us hypnotized, but can't be hypnotized, right? I tried real hard though to be hypnotized because I wanted to know I don't like not knowing. So I tried really hard to be hypnotized, but can't hypnotize me for some reason. Man, I bet that was a big smash. Semi trailer hitting, truck and trailer hitting a Bigfoot. I bet they do damage. They damaged up those little SUVs. I have no idea. Did Patton Oswalt become a hippie? I thought he always was one. No, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Yeah, now going up in chat, in the movie The Time Machine, there were those underground apes that took people. It's kind of funny, Uh, they had in the movie Time Before, or what was that? The Land of the Lost. They were slee stacks. Remember those? Those reptilians under the ground. Um, the Bigfoot sound like monkeys, and they're all in the same place, and they all do the same thing. It's kind of weird, huh? I think they know more than we think they know, Mary. Like, I believe that they can hear our thoughts. And that goes back a long ways. When you research uh, Native Americans, any tribe across the United States, they all have a their history says that these things mind speak. And a lot of times they wouldn't mind speak with them, but they would read their mind and they would know the answer. Like they would answer a question that the person thought. And that would spook the Native Americans because they, like, one of them wanted to marry this lady's daughter, and he wouldn't let anybody see him. But during the day, he was reading the mother and what would be soon his mother-in-law. He would be reading her thoughts, and she was saying, she wanted a great hunter for her daughter. So he came and brought deer and dropped it on the porch of the mother-in-law, or the soon-to-be mother-in-law, and told the girl, tell your mother that's from me, the great hunter. And then one time she was saying, he brought so much deer they didn't need deer anymore. He's like, well, maybe he could bring firewood. And the only problem is he brought logs, like a whole tree, two of them, and laid them at the porch. And it made the mother-in-law mad because she would have had a chop and stack and all that. Well, he never did do that. He read her mind, knowing that she was mad about it, and then that night he made the logs disappear. So I mean, there's all these stories. If you go researching Native American lore on Bigfoot and all the different names, you'll come across this mind speak thing where they can read your mind. Mind speak is like telepathy. Yeah, it's where they know what you're thinking, and they also can talk to you by sending their voice into your mind, and it's a unnerving thing, real unnerving. And if they could do that, it makes you wonder about all the people that say they hear the voices going on in their head, and these voices tell them to kill people or take their life and stuff like that. Like, maybe it isn't their mind. Maybe there is entities that are telling them that. And I actually believe that. It's a Rinkin. Yeah. See, have you guys researched Dr. Johnson, Matthew Johnson? Research Matthew Johnson. He says, and I believe him. I'm not calling him a liar or anything. I mean, I used to draw the line on things and say, that's impossible. What are they talking about? I don't do that anymore. My paradigm has been blown out of the water so many times. I'm really open for anything. And now maybe some of it might not be truth, but I don't know the difference of truth and not truth without investigating it. And that's what I'm all about, is investigating it. Let's find the truth in all these claims. And read Dr. Matthew Johnson's claims of what recently occurred, where they were saving a dying planet, and they opened a portal and let 22,800 and something Bigfoots through it onto our planet. And they're not really Bigfoot. And he's even saying that if you want to go Bigfooting, like if you want to encounter a Bigfoot, just go in your yard. If you have a tree, go in your yard and start talking to the tree, because there is a Bigfoot in it. You don't have to go to the woods. And what's amazing about it is he's saying that you could live in a city and it could be that way. And in the last few years, I'm finding Bigfoot all over the valley, where I never heard of them being before. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm stating what I do know, and I don't know what all of it is true and what all of it is fake, but only it's more easier to figure things out when a lot of you guys are looking too, and finding information. In fact, that's what I want to do with the Patreon is I want to have an open chat thing, kind of like what we're doing right here, but only in Patreon, where only the Patreon people can be included in it. And that's what I want to do with it. Yeah, there just last week, a sighting near 152 in some almonds. And what is interesting is last year, about this same time, not very far from there on Belmont Avenue, about the same distance away from the mountains as that, there was a Bigfoot sighting on Belmont Avenue in the almonds. And it would be close to Highway 33, the one that runs through to Los Manos. And from what I understand, that sighting was close to Los Manos. You'll have to keep on listening to Jeff because from what I understand, Sunday he went out and investigated that. So he'll be back with more on that. What's up, 450 Dump? How's it going? I don't know how. I don't know if they're like all the way into the city in Fresno and Clovis, but I know that they are close enough to get in the city. I know that small animals were being ripped apart and taken only a mile from the city limits. And I also know that the river that runs through Reedley, California, the Bigfoots are running up and down through there. And that goes right through the city. So I'm pretty much believing that any town that has a river has Bigfoot activity and they don't even know it. And if somebody went, like, I mean, in anywhere, all over the United States, if you have rivers running through your city, it's time to start looking at the parks and following, get on Google Earth and follow those things on Google Earth and find heavily wooded areas and stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be, 100 acres. It could just be 2 or 1 or just heavily wooded on the sides of the river. And that's where they're going to be hanging out in the daytime, hiding, and kind of focus in on those areas. Also, choke points, what I call choke points, or areas where there's woods over here and there's woods over here near the city, but then there's an area where it's wide open and they have to pass through there. Okay, if you find evidence over here and you find evidence over here, that means they went through there. That would be an area to where you might get a good look at them because there's no cover. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they love riverbeds. They love it. And I'm wishing you well too, 450. Wishing you well. I wish all you guys well, really. I pray for everybody after the shows. I lay hands on the screen and I pray for everyone in YouTube. I don't know if you guys ever feel it or not, but you're heavily prayed for by me. And I'll do it all the time. And sometimes I'll just have all the videos and I'll put both hands on the screen praying for everybody that's ever chatted in any video. I believe God knows your heart, so you don't have to name every name. He knows your intention and he knows everybody that's in there. If he knows how many hairs are on my head, he knows all the names of the people in the chats of every video. So I don't get concerned about being specifically specific all the time. I never listened to him before. I heard of him though. Good night, Connie. Actually, I gotta go too, you guys. It's been almost 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes. One last time before I go, though, everybody go join my Patreon. That's where I'm going to be. Anything new that comes out, like if I go out with uh, Lewis and the guys around here, and I videotape some stuff and edit it together, I'm releasing it at Patreon first. If I do any other radio shows or TV shows or any kind of interviews, the links are going to be released at Patreon first. So for 4 or 5 days, only my really good supporters on Patreon will be able to access the information, and then it'll go public. Like 4 or 5 days later, I'll release it to the public. But I want to do something to my really good friends and supporters that stick with me, and that's how I intend on doing it. I have another one I want to do on YouTube. They call it a premiere, and I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to do a couple of these where I'm going to put together some videos. I want to do a little bit of a video of what all I've done when we open for Art Bell. A lot of it will have me and Jeff, but it'll give the new people an idea of where I came from and what I've already done. Like I didn't just fall into a YouTube channel and just it's a new thing to me. So I want to do something like that, and then I want to do a premiere. And what I'll do is YouTube lets you put it up, and it'll set a time and a date for it to premiere, and then it'll run like ads to all the subscribers will get notification that there's going to be a premiere, and then it'll allow me to be in chat with everyone while the video premieres and plays. And I'm looking forward to that. I want to play with that. I think that's a kind of a cool concept, and that means I could be in. I won't be doing the video and have to worry about the camera and everything, and I could be in chat with everybody, chatting while the video plays, and sit and watch it with everybody too. And I think that's kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to that. That's probably a little down the road, but only not real far down the road. But make sure that if you're not a Patreon member, go be a Patreon member. It doesn't cost anything. You could do it for free. But if you do find it in your heart to give $1 a month, that's fine, or even any amount. But I'm only $1 a month is fine with me, or nothing is fine with me. Just become a Patreon member. That's going to be where my core bestest supporters and friends are, and I'm going to pay more attention to that than YouTube and everything. I still will all YouTube and all the other things, but I'm gonna put a little something extra special there because I believe you guys are extra special and deserve it, and I don't want anyone to miss out on it. So if you go on my main YouTube channel, there's a link, and in fact, I think underneath in the description, I have a link to the Patreon account. Go over there, become a Patreon, and then we'll hang out over there, and we'll have some fun, and I'll be bringing you some really cool stuff that you guys get to see first before anyone else, and I think that's cool. In fact, I have an interview I did at Jackson at the ParaQuest that's up right now, and you can only see it if you're a Patreon member. So right now, if you want to hear the interview that I did in Jackson, California at the ParaQuest, if you become a member, you can listen to that right now. And I think it'll be available to the public on the 16th is when it'll go public. But so go over there, become a member, check out that really cool, I think, interview. And I'll be praying for you guys. I love every single one of you. The world's going wacky, so let's pray for everybody in the world and for all the people that are losing their homes and to fires and all this other really crazy, weird, whacked out stuff. Be praying for everybody. Pray for our president. They're trying to kill him. Even though that's not in the news, they are. So, be in prayer. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Let's pray for everybody. I love all of you, and I will see you really soon. Good night.